So welcome to our discussion of this absolute treasure of a 250 SL, a 1968 model, built in 67, of course, that stayed with its owner until his 96th year. And this car is textbook original. It's a car that would be welcomed at any preservation event, I believe, in the country or in the world, because it is so original. The paint is all original according to inspection, both with a paint meter and expert, except the trunk lid. It appears that had a light respray. That's it. Of course, a black plate, California car. Straight bumpers without overriders because it's an early car. Two-piece hubcaps, it's a 250. Black rockers. Side mirror. Oh, and we have an original windshield with the brand. Early cars, as many enthusiasts know, have all red tail lights, except the little backup light, which is clear. The later cars had amber turn signals. Again, another black plate, currently registered, I'll add. And the locking gas cap, again, no overriders like the later cars had. These are more clean like the European cars. Again, continuing, same kind of wheel covers. This has an accessory passenger mirror, very rarely seen on the early cars. And remember, this is all original paint and just incredible. These are the famous notches that the Pagodas are known for. This is a factory feature, and it's an originality marker, as well as the 3mm gaps all the way around. Let's look underneath. So we have high level of authenticity and originality. We have the body plate with a number that matches the hood number. We'll show stills of that later. The engine appears to have had some freshening over the years, and I'm sure when he possibly had a valve job or something, he had the cadmium plating refreshed because it's so nice and gold. They tend to fade over the years. And these little secondary hood buffers, I like to call them, are absolutely original to the car. How do we know that? They have a look to them that the new replacements don't have. These have to be original. This firewall pad is consistent with what Mercedes-Benz sold about 12 years ago, so we would call that genuine. And that's the basics of the interior, aside from the spot welds on this plane of the fender. These little dots, those are spot welds. And this is how we determine original fenders. It's a real easy way to determine. And they just close down with just a little momentum. They go right down if everything is in good fettle. Let's look inside. So from what I can tell, this whole interior is absolutely original. Not stock or as original, I mean original from the factory. And we're looking at square weave carpeting in the back, and we have more here. And it's color coordinated. I think this color of the upholstery is called bamboo. I would have to check that, but it would have had a dark tan or brown square weave carpeting. And this appears to be original. You can buy replacement square weave. I don't know that you can get it in this color, but the new square weave has a different knot count. And later maybe we'll do a special video of that, but this appears to be absolutely original. What a treasure. And the sill pad is original, and it's brown. It's color coordinated. I don't think you can buy brown sill pad material any longer. You can buy all the parts, but not necessarily all the colors. These are floor mats, and underneath we have the original 250 SL rubber floor mats that are also color coordinated. Continuing the preservation car theme, this whole interior appears to be original, you know, after close scrutiny. And starting with the wood up top, this is the correct color, it's the correct finish, has a light patina to indicate 50 years. They were never high gloss, they were always a satin. This is exactly what it should look like after 50 plus years in a pleasant environment. Typically when we get one of these cars, the heater sliders are frozen and they require lots of work. I mean, that is typical. This car, it works flawlessly, a testament to how this car was maintained by the 96-year-old gentleman who owned this car for so long. Apparently it never had a radio. It came across from Germany with the blanking plate, pretty rarely seen today. Gauges all function, everything functions. I should also point out the miles, 74,477, which are documented by a handwritten journal, plus the original maintenance booklet, I believe. I have to see if it's in the car. I've told it's here, and plus individual service records from recently. In here, and this is how we learn about what's original. When we have so much original, we look at something like this. We have the original aircraft style seat belts, color coordinated webbing. We've got what I'm calling bamboo tan upholstery, which is absolutely original with the correct basket weave insert. But we have this darker brown, maybe a date colored ashtray covering. Oh, this has never been used either. Wow, how nice. And you notice this matches the liner in the bottom of the Oddman's tray. And this has to be original. Absolutely has to be original. And we know, because we're investigating now, because you never see these. I very rarely see this vinyl pad. They were glued down, because this one is glued down. And over the years, the plasticizer has volatilized in the warmth of the atmosphere, and it's shrunk. That's why it's about 1 centimeter back. And you can see the glue. And the edge is heat sealed. This is exactly how they were supplied. This is exact original item. And again, original finish on the wood. Absolutely correct. It still has the intact I don't know what you'd call it, the escutcheon, which is a little plastic insert in the shift surround. When we move over to the glove box, so the map reading light works, and it does double duty. It's also the glove box light. It's one light, does both. And what is in here, you know, this was what I like to call an old guy. He's got a pen from Nationwide. And that was apparently, here's a notepad. That's because he made meticulous notes. He bought the car, I'm told, in '86 from its original owner, a neighbor of his. So from '86 in Solana Beach, California. And here's all his gas notes. He put here how much gas he put in. Super, of course. You'd only run super in one of these cars if you're an enthusiast. All handwritten, and look how nice the writing is. Mine would never hold up to that. It's all here. And it all goes up and stops at, well, 74,000 miles, or just before that, when when he passed, actually, sadly. Here's 2006 at 67,000 miles. And of course, his use trailed off as he went through his 90s. Anyway, wow, it's all here. That's golden. Oh, here is the original maintenance manual from the original owner, Howard Auten, if I'm pronouncing it right, or that might be a U. December of '67. So we know it was built in '67, titled as a '68. That's how the DMV did things back then. And here are all the records. And these are a who's who of San Diego Mercedes service points. Mercedes of San Diego, Mike Rudin, which is a factory authorized service point. I know Mike personally. I think he's almost 90 years old. Heinz Gietz in La Jolla, again, factory authorized Mercedes. They're all here. Rancho Santa Fe Mercedes. Hohen Motors, factory Mercedes dealer. Back to Heinz Gietz. RB German Automotive, a famous place in Rancho Bernardo. And this started from zero and going right up to when the last owner bought it in 86, I believe, or 96. So he went to a few hotels. Here's a roadside assistance. Palm Shadow Hotel. Rancho Mirage Lodge. Insurance card. The AAA gave you a speedometer calibration back in the day. This was from 1988, showing that the speedometer was relatively accurate for an analog gauge. This is when he bought the car because the use tax or sales tax was $1,188. That's the tax he paid when he bought the car. People used to use maps in the old days. And here's Mercedes roadside assistance program, because he apparently had a lot of his maintenance done at the dealer. So this is the factory booklet that the real books go in. I think they're in the trunk, but this is the booklet they would be in. We'll just leave this out for now. And here's all the recent service records, that went beyond the ones in the maintenance booklet. And then, of course, we have the handwritten log. Let's close that up, keep them safe. I think we ought to probably go in the trunk now. Wow, this is exactly what an honest trunk of a Pagoda should look like. You got the rubber mat, which famously, because it's rubber, it can hold moisture against the metal, and the metal just has a thin coat of paint. This is where knowledgeable enthusiasts and buyers look, because even a California car can rust in this area. And this is absolutely original. This has not been painted. We've only had this car 24 hours. And wow, it's just the way it should look. Unbelievable. What do we have in? So again, old guy owned this car, and I say that with love. I'm an old guy now, although I'm not in my 90s yet. So he saved his old points in case he got stuck on the side of the road and maybe he burned a point. He could put those in, spares. Rubber gloves. I don't think he was a physician. I think this is so he wouldn't get his hands dirty if he had to change a tire. Got to have a rag in your car, wipe your hands. These are the tools. It's made out of Mercedes-Benz soft top material. They grabbed whatever color they happened to have. And it had soft top headliner material on the inside. We got all the tools here. And I wonder if it has the rare wood, because the early cars had a wooden handle. Oh my gosh, here it is. This is unobtainium and highly valued. It's the wood screwdriver handle. And you would put your basic, whether you needed a Phillips head or a flat one, you'd put it in there and use it. So it is an absolutely intact, apparently, toolkit. And what else do we have? Well, this is the tire iron, the little thing you use to steady the wheel if you had to change a wheel on the side of the road. Again, another map from the old days. If you needed, you'd put this on your car if something happened, you got a flat, you put that there so the police don't tow you. This gives all the Mercedes dealers throughout the world a Bosch little booklet, because Bosch was a big supplier of the electrics. This is like a no-name book, but I know what it is. This was your original warranty plate. And I think they tore out the warranty card. This little guy would normally be hanging here. Probably the little thread failed. Original item, not a repro. The original owner's manual. Wow, it's a big thick one. The original parts manual. How to use seat belts, American safety seat belts, 2 of those. And a U.S. directory, July 1967. He got it when the car was sold new. Wow, I'm going to leave these out for now in the interest of time. Let's close this down. So circling back, this is like what we like to call a survivor or a preservation level car because it has such a high level of originality. It appears that maybe one panel was resprayed and all the rest appears to be original. I've done paint meter readings and they all read from 3.5 to about 6 mils everywhere. And you know, this was a car that was painted by hand. This was not robots. It didn't really have robots in wide use in '67. So again, what a treasure to find a black plate 1968 Pagoda or W113 car in this highly authentic and original condition. So thank you so much for watching along with us, and good luck if you're competing with everyone else to buy this car, because it's going to go up live in a few days or a week maybe on our website. Thanks so much.